Sir, I don't mind you recording. Can you just back up a little bit? Do you have any questions? I'm going to give you a breakdown of what happened.
If you want.
To confirm that, we just detained him, and there was odor coming from the car.
Odor of marijuana?
Yeah, which gave us more probable cause. We conducted a narcotics search and found narcotics.
Tested it and it came up. Gentlemen, I was heading back to my hotel here in San Antonio, Texas, when I saw some police activity here. Always a good day to do some cop watching, promote transparency and accountability in police interactions. So let's film this interaction right here. So obviously something happening at the KFC / Taco Bell.
Sir, I don't mind you recording. Can you just back up a little bit? Do you work here?
Looks like he's testing something there. Positive? For what? Positive for what?
This is how the video pulls you in quietly, but with intent. No shouting, no chaos, just a controlled voice cutting to the moment. I don't mind recording, just back up a little, and just like that, the tone is set not with aggression, but with authority wrapped in restraint. As the camera rolls, the scene unfolds outside a fast food parking lot, seemingly routine at first glance. But beneath that calm surface lies an active police investigation already in motion. The officer doesn't hesitate. He begins explaining what happened, almost unexpectedly. A traffic stop, an odor, a search, narcotics found, tested, positive. That level of immediate transparency is rare, and it changes everything. The auditor stands there, observing, not interfering. There's no confrontation, no resistance, just a quiet tension building through information. The suspect vehicle has already been searched. Evidence is being processed, and the situation appears settled. But that's exactly what makes it intriguing, because when a scene feels this controlled, this cooperative, it raises a different kind of question. Backhand index pointing right what led to this outcome so quickly. The camera lingers. The officer continues working. A test result is confirmed, but the substance isn't immediately revealed, leaving a gap in the narrative. And that gap creates suspense, not through action, but through uncertainty. This isn't your typical high-conflict audit. It's something subtler, smarter, a moment where everything seems smooth, but every detail hints at a deeper chain of events already completed before the camera even arrived. And that's what hooks the viewer. High voltage, not what happening, but what already happened.
Looks like they searched his vehicle here. wonder why they searched the vehicle. I feel like an episode of Live PD or Cops.
Now the scene begins to open up, and with it, the truth starts slipping through in fragments. The auditor shifts slightly, no longer just watching but questioning. Not aggressively. Strategically, the vehicle has been searched. That part is clear. But the how is where things get interesting. Then it comes out, almost casually. Consent. A single detail dropped into the conversation, but it carries enormous weight. Because in encounters like this, consent isn't just a formality. It's a turning point. It's the line between a contested search and a lawful one. The auditor doesn't escalate. He doesn't challenge the officers directly. Instead, he delivers a quiet observation. Never give consent. It's subtle, but it lands hard. Not for the officers, but for the audience. Because now the entire situation reframes itself. What looked like a straightforward police operation now reveals a deeper layer of consequence. The stop may have started with something minor, but decisions made during the interaction quietly shaped the outcome. Meanwhile, the officers remain composed, continuing their work without reacting to the commentary. Their focus doesn't break. Their tone doesn't shift. And that contrast creates tension. Backhand index pointing right one side is enforcing the law. The other is exposing a lesson. No shouting, no resistance, just a silent collision between authority and awareness. And for the viewer, the realization hits. High voltage this moment wasn't driven by force. It was driven by choices. Then something happens that almost never happens in these encounters. The officer talks, not defensively, not vaguely, but clearly, step by step, laying out the entire sequence of events like a timeline unfolding in real time. It begins with something simple, a traffic violation, rear lights not working, a legal reason for the stop. Then it builds, expired license, a verification check, and then the escalation point, the odor of marijuana in Texas. That detail changes everything. It becomes probable cause. From there, the process unfolds exactly as described. A search is conducted. Narcotics are found. A test is performed. And the result comes back positive. No hesitation. No missing pieces. Just clarity. The auditor recognizes it immediately. His tone shifts, not confrontational, but appreciative. Names are exchanged. Badge numbers requested. Not as a challenge, but as documentation. And in that moment, something rare happens. Backhand index pointing right, the tension dissolves. Not because of authority, but because of transparency. This isn't just an interaction anymore. It becomes a demonstration. A rare glimpse into how a situation should be handled when communication replaces conflict. And ironically, that calm honesty becomes the most compelling part of the entire video. Because viewers aren't left guessing. They're shown everything.
How'd they search your car?
Hey, he says got insurance.
You gave consent? Never give consent to search your vehicle.
questions? I'm gonna give you a breakdown of what happened.
No, if you want, you
So,
can.
We're out here just doing direct control. It doesn't have any rear lights on his license plate.
Right.
Just give us probable cause to stop him.
Right.
Stopped him. The driver gave us an expired driver's license. So to confirm that, we just detained him, and there was odor coming from the car.
Odor of marijuana?
Yeah, which gave us more probable cause. We conducted a narcotics search and found narcotics.
Tested it and it came up positive. Well, can I just get your name and badge number, sir?
Delgado 736.
Just so I can request the body camera footage. Hey, Delgado, I just want to say I appreciate the transparency. I appreciate you not having a problem with the recording, and thank you for serving the community. And like I said, I appreciate the transparency. You didn't have to break that down for me. I appreciate you breaking it down so people know that nothing nefarious is going on here.
I appreciate it.
All right? Take care, Delgado. And your name, officer?
Officer Barbosa.
Officer Barbosa. And your badge number?
276.
276.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. You take care, okay? Good luck to you, man. Hope you have a better night. San Antonio Police. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Gave me a breakdown. When have you ever seen that? A breakdown of what exactly happened here. All the steps that went into this man being unfortunately arrested for possession of narcotics. I've never gotten a breakdown by law enforcement before on what exactly happened on a traffic stop and a detainment, so you heard it. Check your brake lights, ladies and gentlemen. You do not want to be pulled over by law enforcement. Make sure your brake lights are working every time you get into the car. Bet you this man in the back seat over there wishes he would have checked his brake lights before he went out tonight. But it is what it is. They pulled him over for a valid reason. Brake lights is a pretty minor offense, traffic violation, obviously. Then when you hand them expired registration, whatever else they said, the odor of marijuana. In New York, they legalized marijuana, so there is you can't get probable cause to search based on the odor of marijuana, but in Texas it's still illegal here, so they can use the odor of marijuana in order to search your vehicle. That's what they did, and they found more than marijuana. That test is not a marijuana test. That is a test for narcotics, cocaine, etc. But again, appreciate the breakdown by the officers here and them being polite. You know, when I first pulled up to the scene, they said, "Hey, I don't mind if you record, but back up a little bit." And I literally just took like one step back. You could tell from the video I didn't really go anywhere, but because it's not really an officer safety thing. They know I'm not a threat to them. It's just a recording, and they just want to feel that they told me to move somewhere. You know, move over all the way over there in the corner and record. No, I'm going to record where I can document everything that's happening here on this traffic stop, and this police interaction, and promote transparency and accountability. So that's good that he explained everything. Very cool. Well, we're going to be getting out of here. Anytime I see a nice traffic stop, I like to stop by and, exercise my First Amendment right. But let me know what you think about it. Uneventful, very much uneventful, other than this gentleman in the back seat is unfortunately going to jail for the night. But I will say the law enforcement officers were professional and explained everything to me when they didn't have to. But let me know your thoughts. As always, stay safe. God bless. I'll see you in the next video. Long Island Audit.
As the scene winds down, the energy shifts, but the message sharpens. The auditor steps back, no longer focused on the officers, but on the bigger picture. And that's where the weight of the situation truly lands. This entire chain of events, detainment, search, arrest, started with something almost insignificant. A faulty light. A minor issue most people wouldn't think twice about. But from that moment, everything escalated. Expired documentation. The odor of marijuana. Legal probable cause. A search. Narcotics discovered. One step leading to another. A chain reaction. The auditor breaks it down calmly. But the implications are heavy. Especially when he highlights a critical difference. Laws aren't the same everywhere. What might not justify a search in one state becomes completely valid in another. That contrast adds depth and a quiet warning. Meanwhile, the officers remained professional. No hostility, no escalation. They allowed recording. They explained their actions. They maintained control without conflict. And that's the final twist. Backhand index pointing right, the most uneventful encounter, becomes the most revealing one. Because instead of drama, the viewer is left with something more powerful: understanding. As the camera pulls away, one image lingers: the suspect in custody, silent, still, a reminder that sometimes it's not the confrontation that defines the moment. High voltage is the decisions that led there.